we have Satoshi F Baby ready to hop on because this next news event is relevant to him. You can buy the new Baboon comics. They're live on Paris. There's a link there to the store if anybody is interested. So I'm not sure if David or Royo is.
Oh, there he is.
Hey guys, how are you?
Oh, nice.
Welcome to Rise and Grind.
Well, I'm very excited
to Grind.
Yeah, very excited to be here this morning. Nice to meet you, Sue. Chloe, nice talking to you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and just introduce myself a little bit. My name's Sammy Flores. I go by Satoshi F Baby on all the social medias and all the forums. I'm 35 years old. I have a wife and kids, just a normal dude who does, coloring and, graphic design and stuff like that. My background and my role in the actual comic is that I'm part of the creative team. It's a 2-man team. Gary Odd Edmond is the illustrator and the creator of Baboon. I do the coloring and the lettering. And yeah, that's kind of a little bit of background about me. He actually was my mentor and trained me how to do all these different things. So we've worked together in the past on a couple of different independent comic books. Most notably, the freedom-filled, flavorful, faithfully fierce, fantastic, fear-facing food fighters.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a comic that we did. It was about good food versus bad food. But yeah, that's one that we had opportunity to be put on at Barnes and Noble. So the first issue is there if you want to go ahead and look it up. But now we've started coming into the crypto space, right? First, I actually got into the near ecosystem back in late February, early March. I actually had an opportunity to speak with Ricky right at the beginning whenever they were launching in the first couple of months. And he mentioned to me that he was very interested in creating collectibles. And part of collectibles included, comic books. And, coming from the comic book background, doing a couple of different independent comic books and, coming out at a couple of different Comic Cons, I told him I'd be interested in, helping him out in the future. So this is kind of like a couple of months in the work, and we're extremely excited. The first mini comic that Near Protocol has ever had on the blockchain. So let me go back a little bit. Coming into the NFT space, it was like I said, it was about February, so I kind of missed like all the hype that was in October, December, and January. It was really blowing up on ETH, right? And what I started to realize is like, look, I need to start figuring out what the next trend is going to be, because right now I'm trying to jump in, and there's so many things going on, too many blockchains doing different things. And, I just needed to kind of sit back and watch the trends that were going on ETH and figure out, okay, so what's next in the NFT space, right? I feel like at the beginning, people were just kind of throwing spaghetti at a wall and trying to see what stuck with NFTs. So that's what the avatar little trend has started to come around, right? Everybody has those little one-of-ones, and we're purchasing them, and they're becoming like membership things and stuff like that. Everybody's trying to figure out how we could apply these NFTs. And one of the main things that caught my eye whenever I first spoke to Ricky was that he was interested in telling a backstory and putting stories behind some of these characters that people were going to be coming up with for their digital art cards. So with it kind of just like meshed together with the whole comic book style thing. And he told me, he was like, we're primarily over here on the eastern side of the world. A lot of the artists that we get are, anime type artists, manga, stuff from Asia and that side of the world. And we're really interested in bringing the Western style comic into Paris comic. Well, at the time it was just, Paris, right? And then they decided to go ahead and create this wonderful platform called Paris Comic. And yeah, a few months back, he came out at one of the Open Web Sandbox events, and he was talking about how he was looking to start pushing forward the comic aspect of his marketplace. And so I hit him up. We had a meeting. We decided, to go ahead and create one of the, this comic book, Baboon, and that's kind of how it kind of led into it. So,
Awesome.
working in the near ecosystem has kind of helped me get to know a lot of the guilds in our ecosystem, and allowed me to network with a couple of people that have been running them. And so it's been wonderful. I mean, everybody is extremely so supportive in the ecosystem and encouraging. So, it's been a fun ride.
Awesome. Thank you for that introduction. Would you mind, I don't know if, this would be possible for you to share your screen, and kind of just show us like the aesthetics of Baboon, the character. I don't know if you have some images or like if you can pull it up on Paris Comic.
Let's see.
Just so we can kind of get an idea of what it looks like.
Yeah, of course. So, whoa. All right, so this is the main cover of Baboon. We actually put out 5 different covers. Nice. There's gonna be 3 versions of this one. They have like different color headers and backgrounds, just so people have a variety of different collectibles to get. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how the comic book industry works, but there's a lot of different variants that come out with all these comics that are printed. So, we wanted to put out a variant cover to give people options to collect. So this one right here is actually the one I created. This other one is the one Gary created. He's a wonderful artist. I mean, look at this detail right here.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, and then I did the coloring on this one. And then on this one, like I said, I did the art for this one and the coloring. So my whole thing was to kind of include the near ecosystem a little bit. So we got our flying rhino to
nice.
To add the flying rhino guild. They've been a huge help for me, and putting out a bunch of different tweets and handling our social media. So wanted to go ahead and put them on the cover, and then the rainbow bridge. So that's kind of like the whole little theme right there with Baboon. But like I said, we have 5 covers. We have 5 covers, and they're all like really affordable. We wanted to make these comic books affordable, because a lot of these NFTs on ETH and on other platforms are going for like thousands of dollars. And I mean, like, I get it, they're wonderful pictures. I am not disagreeing with the art. They're great. The GIFs, whatever, 3D, it's amazing. But when we come back to reality, and as we move towards a mass adoption, we really want to make things affordable so that everybody's collecting these NFTs. It's similar to like real comic books. So, the front cover is 0.3 near. So I think that's close to about $3.50, or something like that. I know near's fluctuating right now. And then the second cover is going to be 1 near, so about $5-6. We got the 2 variant covers right here. So 2 near for the variant cover, 5 near for this variant cover. And then we have this tier right here, which is tier 5. And for this cover, there's only gonna be 5 minted copies, and it's 30 near each, but you receive the comic, an exclusive digital art card, and you're entered into a raffle to be drawn into the comic. So like 5 people will have the opportunity to be entered into the raffle, and we'll go ahead and raffle the names out, and whoever wins will be drawn into a later issue as a cameo. So
that's cool.
That's kind of the fun thing we're kind of incorporating to get the ecosystem involved in the comic book. So it's we're extremely excited. All these covers, they're like tiered. So like the first tier, there's 500. The second tier, there's 250. The third tier, there's 100, and the fourth tier, there's 50. So it kind of goes down the line. And so we're just really trying to create new collectibles for our ecosystem. And,
cool.
Coming into this space, it's pretty awesome. It's like revolutionary. Now coming in here, we're in the wild west. We're trying to figure out how everything is coming together here. So this is just something we're trying out, and we're gonna see how it goes.
Can you talk a little bit more about the narrative of Baboon? Like, what's it about? What's the idea behind the story?
Yeah, I could talk a little bit about it. So Baboon the way we talked about with Paris is we wanted to create, relatable stories, right? So Baboon is literally like all of us, right? So all of us have encountered a time in our lives where excuse my language, but shit has happened to us, right? Where our backs are against the wall and we're, kind of in this little rut. So, after a series of unfortunate events, Bob is broke. And so he's taking on different bounties that no one else will to kind of like bring his life back together and, he'll come back. So he's showing a little bit of redemption, perseverance, and courage because in order to do these bounties, he's taking on different things and encountering different alien species, and he's going to be going ahead and capturing the bounty, so to speak. I don't want to give it away because if I tell you, then obviously I'll spoil the story a little bit. But yeah, it's basically a cross between like the Mandalorian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Deadpool. So it's definitely for mature audience only type of thing. There's a lot of action and blood, so it's a sci-fi thriller. And yeah, we're just basically following his journey on his first bounty for the first arc, and we're hoping everybody enjoys it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to ask another question. So yeah, you just mentioned that the first arc is out, right? That's what launched today.
Well, it's the chapter 1 of the first arc. So like the
Okay,
first
so
arc.
only one chapter, and the first arc is 6 chapters.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so it's just the first chapter today. And then after 6 chapters, it's going to be done, or is like I don't really know how comic books work. So like, is the first arc just like one part of it, and then you're going to planning on making more arcs, or?
Well, at this point, well, we're really just taking it one issue at a time, just one arc at a time, just to see how it works. Because obviously we're all experimenting different things in our ecosystem to see, what kind of works out. So right now we're just focused on the first 6 issues, and then whatever transpires after that, we'll go ahead and go from there. Obviously, we'd love to, keep going, but it all just depends on how it goes towards the future. And we're really excited. So I'm extremely confident that people are going to love the story. Gary is an amazing artist. Before I met him, I saw some of his art and I was like amazed. So having the opportunity to have him take me under his wing has been an amazing journey. We all talk about different dreams that we have growing up. So, when I think about it, back in the day, I would be in class just doing all these things, right? And so this is basically the significance of this launch right here. It's something that we've really dreamed about doing, putting out our own like different original series. And we're extremely excited that Nier and Paris has given us the opportunity to really follow our dreams. And that's what it's really all about right now, especially in the crypto NFT space. I feel like a lot of people that are coming into this space, they're like diamonds in the rough, right? Like it's like somebody told them no, and then they didn't get their opportunity. But now with crypto coming along, and the whole decentralized aspect of it, no one's really in charge, right? So the whole creator economy is kind of like shifting towards this like new way of doing things. And so before, we'd have to send comic books into an editor and hope that he liked it enough to give us a deal. And this time we didn't have to. Ricky and Afik, they're amazing and extremely supportive, and they trust us so much. And they're like, hey, just come up with something amazing. And it just gave us the keys, right? And we're taking it. We have the ball in our court now. And it's usually not the case for comic book artists. I don't know I know you said you weren't familiar, Chloe, but Sue, I'm not sure how, much you're into comic books, but, comic books kind of run the world right now. If you really think about it, Marvel, everything on East that's coming out in the theaters, they're all comic books, or they've all been some sort of literature or some type of book. So as we move forward, I think a lot of different creators from these backgrounds are going to be coming in trying to utilize the NFT technology. And you're going to see some really cool things happen because there's a lot of innovation occurring. And, when you get the technical people that do all the, coding and the blockchain stuff, and then you have creative people like Gary and I come together, I think that's where the magic really starts to happen, and you start to see all these amazing things grow in the ecosystem. So it's a really fun time. We're excited. I know Ricky and Afik and Andini from Paris, they're extremely excited about all of this. And I mean, it's been a wonderful ride. We still have 5 more issues. We're going to be putting them out monthly. There's no specific date on the next one, but we'll be, announcing soon as soon as we're getting everything done and developing everything. I mean, the first arc is already pretty much outlined, but we still have to go ahead and finish up coloring, drawing, and all that stuff. So it's
awesome. Can you talk a little bit about that process, compared to making just like a typical like NFTs, like one frame, one picture? A comic is obviously like a whole different ball game, and is that different technologically or creatively? Can you talk about just like the challenges you may have encountered making an NFT comic?
I mean, to be honest with you, there's not really much of a difference from minting a comic to minting like a regular NFT that's just JPEG. It's similar process. It's just all about, making sure everything is in line and follows. Because obviously the regular NFTs are just one page, right? So we just want to make sure everything is in order, and that's kind of how long it goes. It's more like storyboarding and stuff like that. So in order to make sure everything flows together, we get it colored, we add the lettering, then we edit it together, and then we submit it so it could get minted. Right now, Paris is the one doing the actual minting, because this is like the first comic, right? So they're handling all the back end things. So that's actually a little bit of weight off my shoulders, because a lot of artists that come into this space, like they're real like about the whole minting process. They don't really understand it right away off the bat. They're just like, what do you mean? I just created and now it's available. But so Paris is the one handling it for us as far as the comic is concerned. I guess it's just so that they make sure everything comes out properly. As they just really recently launched the Paracomic platform. So I believe it was like 2 weeks ago at NearCon. So I think they're just trying to make sure everything goes according to plan before they allow like their creators to actually go in there and mint the way that they allow their creators to do so now on the digital art card marketplace.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess so we can just wrap it up. You've given us like so many details. You kind of answered like a lot of the questions that we were gonna ask. So thank you for going into in depth on the process of making Baboon. Finally, I just wanted to ask, like, if you have any, if you like want the viewers to have come away from seeing this with anything, you had like a message for our audience or other.
Yeah, I do. I mean, right now we're in like a little bit of a paradigm, right, where we're shifting from normal transactions of currency to the crypto world, right? So a lot of people are barely starting to learn all these processes, and I know one of the most challenging parts about this launch was making sure people had near in their account to purchase these things, right? So as we move forward and the U.S. is starting to adopt more, because I'm in the U.S., I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and so there's a lot of restrictions still over here. So it's kind of difficult to I guess advertise to my neighbors versus to advertise to people, in Asia, Russia, New Zealand, Italy, all the people who are already like taking on these new ways of transactions occurring through crypto. So I mean, I think like I said, as we move forward, the way to overcome these challenges is to really like partner with each guild, right? I think the way that Nier was kind of created is like community based, where we're all kind of lending our help to one another. I'm actually a moderator for the Open Web Sandbox, and with my team, Vasilia, Sophia, and all of them, they've really shown me how a group effort works. Like we're all doing our own tasks and making sure that everything is completed correctly. And I believe if we kind of like tackle it the same way amongst the guilds, we could really build a foundation of support for any creator that comes into our ecosystem, right? So like my whole vision behind all of these things is like connecting every guild, right? So whenever we first started putting out some of this information about Baboon, I reached out to Chloe for the Swine Guild meme contest. I reached out to Frederick from Near Week. I reached out to Naveen from the NFT club. I reached out to everybody. I wanted to make sure that we all were collaborating together to kind of push these things, because eventually, what we want to do is we want to be able to create the next, Batman, right? But off Nier. We want to create the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the next Harry Potter, the next Game of Thrones. Like these things are possible. And I think if we're able to work together as a community the way we already have been doing, I think that will really allow us to build some pillars to hold up these creators that come into our ecosystem and really start to like dive into these types of things. Because right now it's just comic books, but the next thing you know, it's going to be a cartoon. And after that, a movie. And after that, more and more and more and more and more. Like we're already into the gaming thing, right? Sasha is doing a wonderful job with their Human Guild. And like you said earlier in the news, like we're really starting to turn into like a gaming platform as far as the blockchain is concerned. And I think if we kind of like bootstrap that and combine that with the aspect of comic books, and then start to really think about different collectibles. Like I'm a huge like collector of things. Like I have a bunch of stuff like toys, cards, like physical comics, books, everything. Like I'm crazy. So I have this vision of it being similar for the Nier ecosystem, where we're creating digital action figures. Where I know, like for me, I collect like toys, right? So there's these Build-A-Figure lines where you could collect 5 of them, and each figure comes with like a piece of another figure, to where if you collect all 5, then you have a 6 figure. So it's kind of the things that like I've been thinking about proposing to Paris, to like, hey, this is just another collectible in our pocket to showcase to the ecosystem and allow creators to utilize and really put out wonderful creations. I mean, we're not far from having an original cartoon show like on Nier. We're really not. It's just a matter of people coming together and building a team to get it done. Like the capabilities are there. We just need to do it.
I like that. I really like what you said about this is a big thing I stress all the time, especially like within the Nier ecosystem. Like I'm always like, we need to be using each other as resources, like as much as we can, because that's kind of like together, I feel like all of our different like operations and skills and stuff, like they can make kind of like a really strong I don't know. It just had like it's just stronger. Like every project is kind of like stronger when you're pulling from all of these different.
Absolutely. And one of the people I really look up to, and he's kind of like on the Mount Rushmore of comic books, is Todd McFarlane. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he created Spawn, and he's one of the famous artists that did Spider-Man in a different style, and it really caught the eyes of a lot of people. And it's crazy that I bring him up and we talk about this, because he actually is starting his own NFT platform. Unfortunately, it's on Solana, but it's a good thing for the comic book industry, because that's going to bring a lot more people into the blockchain and NFT space, and try to really experiment with these things. And one of the things he really talks about is like building a foundation of support. And so that's kind of where my vision has kind of gone into, where like, if we create something like Baboon or, any other type of character, we really want to focus on maybe utilizing the human guild and creating a game for it, right? Because not everybody's gonna like to read comics, but some people like to have games, right? And then so we do it like that, and then with the gaming aspect, and then we move over to maybe Paris, it adds a different collectible, and then we move over to Mint Base and add another collectible. That way we have a full range around the entire ecosystem. I mean, it's like you said, Chloe, we work together, the more we'll succeed. I think we all have an understanding that it's in everybody's best interest that we all succeed, because, you know, the main purpose of this whole thing is to make sure that we're utilizing the NER token. Like, that's going to create value for all of us, and in turn create, you know, opportunities for us to have some type of financial freedom, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the goal.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's a really good closing statement. Oh, sorry, Sue.
I was just going to say thank you so much for coming. Anyone who wants to check out Baboon, you can find it on Paris. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll definitely have you on again for the next big development on Baboon. And don't forget to rise and grind.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Cool.